All right. Welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green, coming to you live on this fabulous Wednesday. And if you're watching this on the replay, I'm sure it's a fabulous day, whatever you're watching. Don't you like when broadcasters say things like on this fabulous day? The day probably sucks. And, someone's having an awful day, and we're pretending if we say it was fabulous. But listen, this is the art of illusion. We're going to have a really fun live video today. And Bumblefoot is here. Ron Bumblefoot Thal. He was the former guitar player in Guns N' Roses. He has a band called Sons of Apollo. He played in a band called Art of Anarchy. He's an incredible guitar player. He has tons of records, but he also has a line of hot sauce. And if you've been watching, we have been doing a show each week on a theme of different rock star inspired hot sauces. He's going to be here. He's going to answer your questions, and we're going to taste his hot sauce. And my old friend Miguel is here as well. He is a world-renowned hot sauce expert. He's tasted hot sauce on all coasts, and he will be here with us. And we are all going to do that. We're going to talk a little bit before that. I'm going to take some of your questions, talk about what's been going on in the world of rock and roll, what's been going on in the channel. So. All that and more right after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody out there to waste time with you. All right, here we are. Listen, I'm so glad to be here. It's been a busy week. I've had a lot of things going on. I was a little under the weather. I wasn't sure I was going to be here to do something as important as tasting hot sauce online for people. But then I thought, times like this, what does the world need? They need to see jackasses tasting hot sauce. Come on. I said to my friend earlier, I said, if you would have thought 20 years ago that we would be doing a live internet mukbang, right? A mukbang. I mean, that sounds like some kind of a pornographic thing, but it is not. It's a bunch of people sitting around eating things, and then you get to watch it. And how exciting is that? What a world we are living in. What a Truman Show real world, reality world where people are watching us taste hot sauce. Anyway, if you've been following the series on hot sauces, last week we tried the Alice Cooper hot sauce. The week before that, we tried the Eddie Ojeda of Twisted Sister Twisted Sauce. If you were watching, you would see that we enjoyed the Eddie Ojeda hot sauce very much, so much that I'm using it at home on almost everything. The cherry habanero is my favorite. The Alice Cooper hot sauce, it kind of sucked. I was going mild about it, to put it in sauce terms, but it just wasn't, it was nothing special. And so I don't necessarily recommend it. Now, I think Bumblefoot is very serious about his hot sauce, and I'm looking forward to it. He has 3, and they're different, and he's an expert on this. He will explain it. And then I will bring in my expert, Miguel, who will let us know, and he will be completely honest with us. Right now, the hot sauce is in a very secure location. It is still sealed in its box. It's holding up my laptop, to be honest. And I will, in just a little bit when Bumblefoot joins us, we'll get that open and we'll taste it. Thank you so much to everyone who's watching. I'm so glad that you guys support the channel. We are almost at 8,000 subscribers. That's because of you guys in spreading the word and enjoying what it is I do. There's a lot of competition. That's all right. We're worried that the air conditioning was coming on. Sometimes when you have a guest, the air conditioning will drown out the guest. But when I'm the only jackass talking, it doesn't matter. And listen, I'm wearing, it's almost October, so I have to wear a jacket. As you know, it's freezing cold in Las Vegas this time of year. I'm not trying to hide my man boobs or anything like that. Or my anyway, let's get back to the serious things that we were talking about. Miguel, what was I talking about?
Man boobs.
No, before that. Oh, I'm talking about how the people love the show and that they support it and 8,000 subscribers. And that's the most important thing of all. There's a lot of competition. I don't look at it as competition, but there's a lot of people doing similar things. And there's room for everybody. Everyone does it their own way. I took it very serious, and I think that it's working, and that I was fortunate that I know a lot of really interesting people who are able to join us. And my spin on is making it real. That's it. I'm not intimidated by the guests. They're just people. And that way we have a conversation. That's why I ask people the questions that maybe others wouldn't ask. There are a few guests who will not come on the show, or a few that chickened out. And one day I will reveal those names. So anyway, I'm so glad you're here. People watching from all over the world right now. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from, because I'm always interested to see where everyone's from. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada now, originally from New York City, and so I'd love to meet some of you. What's great is we have a little community too. I recognize so many of the names, and also so many of you are on my Patreon, which I thank you for. I'm happy to do this for free to entertain you guys. But we got Vancouver, Canada. Welcome. Vancouver is beautiful, and Utah. I made a few records in Utah. Coastal North Carolina. North Carolina is also very beautiful. I spent some time out there too. So we got some really cool places. Ohio, I've been there too. Sydney, Australia, I have not been, but good morning. Nerve Ensemble from Sydney, Australia. It's another day. It's 11 a.m. on Thursday in Australia. So that's great. Illinois, Atlanta, Georgia. It's great that you're watching from all over. And I welcome you. Ronald's in Atlanta, Georgia. Dan Van Horn is in Illinois. Rockefeller is in North Carolina. Here we go. Eric is he's kicking it in Arkansas. So Arkansas, or Arkansas, if you're challenged. Anyway, England, Manchester, England. How cool is that? It's so great that, I when I was younger, I wanted to be an actor, and I wanted to be a writer, and I wanted to be a musician. And I never thought that the thing that was going to bring me the most attention to people all over the world was being an asshole trying hot sauce. And I'm so proud. If my mother's watching, you see, you had no idea. You thought, my father's not watching, but my father would say, oh, you're going to end up living in the park. There's no money in this, and you're never going to make it. And you know what? Here I am trying Bumblefoot hot sauce live in front of a few hundred people around the world. Lake Town joining us from Michigan. Lake Town, thank you so much. And yes, the Patreon's great. If you want to, guys, go to the link, sign up. You get all kinds of cool stuff, all kinds of cool perks, get to ask the guest questions. Next week, we'll bring back the Wheel of Names. I like to give things away. We have some cool things planned. Eventually, everyone who's a Patreon is going to win a prize. We're going to spin the wheel, and every single person is going to get a prize. If there's 30 people on the wheel, I'm going to give away 30 prizes, and they're going to be good things. I have a lot of people helping us. Hey, Kevin, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Super Chat. That's Super Chat. I can see that better. If you guys have questions for Bumblefoot, Super Chat is the easiest way for me to see it. And he will be here in just about 15 minutes. Is that a Michael Myers Funko? I have all the Michael Myers Funkos, but this is right here. This is a Michael Myers. This is a bobblehead. But I do have the Funkos, but I don't have one up right now. But we are getting into the Halloween season. It's beginning. This weekend, I'm going to a double feature, Dracula and Frankenstein, 1931, let's be honest. None of that late bullshit. And so, yes. So anyway, but let's get in the Halloween spirit. So we're going to finish up the hot sauce series. Next week, we're going to do Michael Anthony's hot sauce. And then I think we'll begin, we're going to do like a bit of a horror series. We're going to count down favorite horror movies. You guys can talk about yours. I'm going to have some famous Scream queens on, and they're going to tell us their favorite horror movies. For those of you who might not know, I have a background writing, directing, producing, acting for a company called Trauma, makers of The Toxic Avenger. I wrote a draft of a movie called Tromeo and Juliet. You may know the person who also has a credit for writing that movie, the person who really did all the work. His name is James Gunn, arguably the biggest director in Hollywood. So I have a little bit of a experience. So one of the questions is, am I getting the Eddie Funko. There is a Somewhere in Time Funko coming out. It should have come out today because today is the anniversary of that record. I do have 4 different Eddie things, and I'm going to be meeting with Derek Riggs of Iron Maiden art fame this weekend, and maybe I can convince him to come on the show. I've had a pretty good way of persuading people to come on. Thank you for the good vibes. Much appreciated. We all need good vibes. Gary Oldman. Yeah, Gary Oldman's great in everything he does. He will always be Sid Vicious to me. Spooky season is exciting. We're gonna have every Wednesday in October. We're gonna have our own little Halloween party. We'll dress up, and I'd love to have some of you guys come on the show. All I have to do is send you a link. You guys will appear too, and we'll hang out, and everyone can be envious that you were on the internet having a mukbang during Halloween. So that's coming up. I don't know if you guys have been watching the last interviews. Monday, I debuted David Fishoff, who is the president and founder of Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp. I know a lot of people don't know who that is because you guys are familiar with rock musicians, but David Fishoff was a sports agent. He represented Lou Piniella and Dave Magadan and Phil Simms, and he was a legendary sports agent. He was actually one of the first to do that, and he was booking his guys for appearances, and he wanted to get into the music business, and he had this idea. He reunited the Monkees for the Then and Now tour in 1986. He got the Monkees together. No one was thinking of these kind of package tours, and he did it with the Association and the Guess Who, and he kind of created that. And then after that, he created Ringo Starr's All-Star Band. It was his idea, and he found all these great people to do the first Ringo Starr tour. And then after all his touring with these legendary artists, he created this thing, Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp. And he has a movie out called Rock Camp the Movie. And it's an entertaining movie, but also very deep about some of these people. There's a young man in the movie. His father goes to rock camp every year. And this young man was born with a brain injury. And so he's a little bit disabled, but his dream was to play in Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp. And he plays bass, and he plays with his father and some famous campers and counselors. And it's very cool anyway. So it's an enjoyable movie. And so if you haven't watched the interview, if you're thinking, I'm going to wait for a rocker, I recommend you check out David Fishoff's interview. It's the Monday interview. The week before that, we had Susie Quattro, which is people are really enjoying that one. And Carmine Peace, people have been enjoying also. Then coming up, I want to point out that I've been busy with a lot of crazy things going on, but I have some editing to do. But Sean Drover from Megadeth, he was the drummer for Megadeth. He is the longest running drummer in Megadeth. He's not in the band now, but he will have the longest reign. He will be coming up. Interview with him very soon. And someone's asking if I asked Bumblefoot about horror movies. I could. I bet you he knows a lot about horror movies. He's a knowledgeable kind of guy. And as the Sin City Collector, Jay is joining us. He's here today modding, and we thank him. He wants to remind you that please hit the like button. That's very nice. And so he's in there too to help you guys with some questions. So Sean Drover's coming up. Greg Chason from Badlands is coming up. He's got some really interesting stories about working with Jake Healy in Badlands. And then Leftover Crack, how could I forget? Brad Logan from Leftover Crack, just back from the Punk Rock Bowling Festival here in Las Vegas. He will be joining us very soon. And then I've got all kinds of other stuff. Kevin says he enjoys If Marijuana. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I am beginning to think about new music. I've been writing some new music myself. I'm kind of thinking about doing a kind of an all-star. There's a Sin City Reject CD, which is If Marijuana appears on that. And this is a long one, but okay, I'm going to read it. Hold on. Jonestown Autopsy. I can always count on Jonestown. Miguel, my vision is bad. Can you read that comment to me?
Yes. 35 years ago today, shock rocker Sammy Kerr was a victim of a hotel fire. There will be a memorial concert this Saturday at the Lake Ridge High School pool, hosted by Ragman and his current tribute band, Fuck With Fire.
F with fire. F with fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, please, censorship. Okay, well, Jonestown always has the most original ideas, and thank you for the super chat. Miguel, you have any idea what he's talking about?
No. Shock Rocker.
He is referring to, and this is a great reference, and just in time for Halloween, he's talking about a movie called Trick or Treat, which starred Mark Price, who is also known as Skippy from Family Ties. He plays Sammy Kerr, the Shock Rocker, and that is what that is about. And so, but thank you. Yeah, people know it. People remember their Trick or Treat. Yes, my hot sauce cohort is in here. He's in the test kitchen now. Miguel, why don't you come over here and tell us what are we going to be having with our hot sauce?
Let's see. Let me look at the kitchen. What are we having? We'll be having some.
You have a seat.
Okay. Let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miguel Andujar.
Hello. Okay, we'll be having some onion rings.
Oh.
Delicious beer battered onion rings.
You prepared those yourself, right?
Of course. I was in the kitchen slaving. And we have some jalapeno poppers.
Ooh, jalapeno poppers. Huh?
Jalapeno poppers at the house is kind of like beer food here.
Okay.
I said zucchini, mozzarella sticks.
What, and mozzarella sticks?
Yes.
Oh my God. Where did you get the recipe?
Let me see. I got it from Angelica's.
Angelica.
An Italian lady that loves to make a gutta pasta for my Italian friends. That's pasta.
Right. Yeah. Pasta in Italian. And
pasta. Gotta remember pasta or pasta. You know. And cheese quesadillas we're having.
Is that the correct Spanish pronunciation?
Quesadilla queso.
And so and we have no meat products.
No meat at all.
Yes. And so, but you don't have to do it the way we do. If you want to have a rack of ribs at home, if you guys want to go out and kill animals, that's on your conscience, not mine. So I'm excited, and so in a little while, you'll come back, and we will we'll have the food and the hot sauce.
All right. All right.
And see you in a bit, Miguel. All right. So there's an update. Thank you so much for watching my interviews. It's much appreciated. I really do this because I enjoy it. I believe in it. I went to school to be a journalist, and it's funny. Everything I learned, I don't really use. It's conversation. The art of conversation is what makes this so much fun. Here's a question about killing plants. Don't you have to kill the plants too? Yes. But I don't know if you're familiar or not. But plants don't have parents. They don't have a family. And I don't believe that plants have the same pain system. But that's just me. You guys do whatever you want. I'm all right with it. You also don't have to go out into the woods and go up to a bush and then blow its fucking brains out and watch it die. But hey, do what you got to do. A Sammy Kerr Funko Pop would be incredible. That would be so cool. That is a lost movie, and don't you guys unfriend me for talking about food, because I'm so I don't got time for that bullshit. Ron C, are we going to go out to dinner? I don't know. We usually do go out right after this, but I think we got a lot of food tonight. I mean, Miguel's been slaving in the kitchen. I'm not sure why he made. He's a known Latin chef. I don't know why he prepared all this American fried beer food, but okay. Yeah, here we go. This is a great argument for eating less meat. I try eating less meat because it makes me fat as fuck, and me too. And if you eat less meat, if you reduce it, you will lose weight. Meat sits in your stomach for a long time, but I'm not preaching. Did you get my message about the Joe Perry Funko? Yeah, yes. And so for a few people, including Elliot, won prizes, and I will get to you all. I had a friend, a very close friend of 26 years, pass away, and I am now dealing with his estate, his property, and it is insane. He was what they call a Miguel. What's the word I'm looking for? Hoarder. Yeah, he's a hoarder, and so I'm dealing with that. But I will get back to everybody and get. And that is also why we are not spinning the wheel of names today. We will do it next week. Someone said they'd like to see Steve Riley or Kelly Nichols. Kelly Nichols and I went back and forth, and he said he was going to do it, and then he just kind of flaked. You know, I hope he'll change his mind. I mean, I don't know. He said yes 10 times. He's a little bit of a character, if you will. Do you guys know why Motley Crue did not take LA Guns on the Dr. Feelgood tour? Because Kelly Nichols was having an affair with Vince Neil's wife, allegedly, and they lost the tour and they went to a band called Faster Pussycat. So sometimes Kelly Nichols doesn't make the best decisions, maybe. But I'd love to have him on. I'd love to have him talk. And Riley, I think Riley would come on. We'll see. And Scotty Griffin, I don't know. I don't think even though we're in a band, I haven't heard from him in quite some time. He's been running his flag somewhere else. Anyway, I don't believe in Beatles. I only believe in me. All right. So in just a little bit, speaking of Beatles, Bumblefoot will be here, Ron Thal. If you guys want to ask him a question, get it ready. Start thinking. Start Googling. Start researching. For those who don't know, he has performed in bands with the following lead singers: W. Axl Rose, Scott Weiland, and Scott Stapp. Can you think of 3 possibly more dysfunctional people besides members of LA Guns? I can't either. We are going to have a really fun time. I am so excited to try that food and try Bumblefoot's hot sauces. He has 3 of them. One is called The Sauce, and that one is it's supposedly like a barbecue kind of sauce that you can put on everything. He is very knowledgeable in what you should put your sauces on, and I'm excited. I'm hoping he's going to play a little guitar for us. Anyway, and then we should mention, I usually do a thing called Asshole of the Week where people give me their negative comments and I share them. We haven't really had any. Can you imagine that? I have a lot of people say to me, you shouldn't talk about the negative people. Don't give them the attention. But I don't like bullies. And I think if you're a bully, you're a pussy. And if you're on your keyboard talking shit, I'm going to call you out because most of the people won't. Now, I'm having a hard time keeping up. There's so many damn comments. It's hard for me to keep up with them. But I tell you what, there is so much positivity and people enjoying this. What was going to be just a fun little project, I'd like to keep it going. What does Bumblefoot think of Buckethead's gimmick? It's a great question. Well, let's ask him. I mean, Guns N' Roses, that when Bumblefoot was in the band, there were some odd things. And he's told me in my interview that Axl Rose did not like some of his guitars and maybe some of the gimmicks. I feel like an idiot, but I don't know who Joey C. Jones is. But I appreciate the Nuance Nerve Ensemble. I'm going to Google him. Miguel, you know Joey Jones?
I do not.
I think he grew up on Tremont. We used to go by the window. Hey, Joey! Remember him?
Oh, that was the big ZD. Yeah.
Yeah, hey, Joey, you mother... Oh, wow. He was in a band called Sweet Savage. No wonder I don't know who he is. He's a handsome fella. Well, I don't know. I'd have him on. Why not? I'll tell you who's coming on, because this looks like this guy had something to do with poison. I'm going to tell you who's coming on. Billy McCarthy. He had a different name when he was in the band called D-Moles. He allegedly wrote some of the biggest Poison songs, and he was allegedly ripped off, and he allegedly received a settlement, and there's been some false information about him, and he was going to be here to talk about it. So I know you're excited. Junkyard, could be, but yeah, I think that it's working. Someone's asking for DJ Ash, but I do know DJ. I think we got to wait till DJ has something to promote. He's a nice guy, and I think that he would do it. I've known DJ for a while. He's a good guy. And the DJ's also, I should point out, donated a lot of stuff to my charity work, raising over $1 million for charities. And I want to point out, remind you guys that starting in December, we're going to do that right here on this channel too. I'd love to see everybody contribute. I don't personally take the money because that's not how it should go. It should go right to the charity. I also research the charity, and we're going to do all kinds of cool things. Davey Vane is coming on the show. We have spoke. He needed a few weeks, but he will be here. So someone would like to see This thing, my Chevy Chase jersey. This is from a signing that I traveled for. I have a memorabilia business. I have a memorabilia collection. And I also have an autographed Clark W. Griswold jersey. Does anyone know what the W in Clark W. Griswold stands for? First person to know that will win a prize. No Googling. I'm watching all of you. No Googling. So come on, figure it out. You might not even be able to Google a fact like this. I do know it, though. So yeah, I'm glad you like that. And come Christmas time, we're going to talk a lot more about Christmas. Yeah, there are other people. So Joey Jones had a band called the Glory Hounds, and I'll look into it. And Vinnie Vincent, I am doing okay. Yeah, last Wednesday I had I had some preventive things done, and I had a penis reduction surgery. It was dragging along the ground, and my partners were uncomfortable. But I'm doing all right. Yeah, but I appreciate that. Yeah, and there was just a lot going on, but I'm back. I'm back in the saddle again, and there is a correct answer right there. Floop-de-doo, floop-de-doo, floop-de-doo is right. Clark Wilhelm Griswold. Maybe he's named after the bass player Hoyt Wilhelm. Not sure, but that is his middle name. See, we're learning things today. You think Bumblefoot knows that? He might. Bumblefoot knows a lot of stuff. He's also a very nice guy. I should point out, yes, this is very, very true. But I'm doing much better now, and I'm not wearing long pants so that my legs can breathe. But of course, I do have this fake leather jacket on. You guys are laughing about Miguel being a road regular. I was going to say I was sick and I was unable to interview Ripper Owens, and I will reschedule. But I was going to have Miguel do it. Miguel, do you know what band Ripper Owens is from?
I do not.
And that is why you did not do the interview. But he would have been good. So the name of my memorabilia business I was using was Rock and Roll Authentics, and there's a page for it. But now I'm sort of doing it more online and not through a website yet. But I haven't. You should see it one day. I'll show you guys the memorabilia collection. If you could see what is in this room right now, you would be shocked. On the other side of this camera is nothing but boxes of stuff. A lot of stuff. So, and I'll be happy to show you that stuff soon. It's 6:28. Bumblefoot is a very punctual man. I think he will be here soon. Oh, hold on. I wanted to show this comment. Thank God it's fake. Yeah, I love it. Ricky Rocket. Yeah, Ricky Rocket is a vegetarian. That's great. Ricky Rocket was a good influence. One time, I was on the road with a band called Bobby Blotzer's Fake Rat. Oh, Bumblefoot's here. I'll have to tell that story later. Well, maybe he wants to hear it. Hold on. Here's Bumblefoot.
How are you?
Good. I'm so glad you're here. Everyone's waiting for you.
Hello, everybody.
We were talking a little bit about someone was saying that Ricky Rocket inspired them to be a vegetarian. And because I was talking about the food that we're going to try today is going to be food that doesn't have meat. We're going to do plant-based with your hot sauce. That's okay with you. But I told everybody that they can do whatever they like. It works on different things. And you were going to explain it to them. But I was about to tell this story. I was tour managing Bobby Blotzer from Rat. And he was calling his band Rat, but he was the only member. And so I call it Fake Rat. And so while we were on the road, Ricky Rocket was in the hotel room under my room. And he decided to practice the drums at like 7 a.m. He had a cajon, and he was banging and banging. And so some of the guys were complaining about their room situation. And I said, you guys think you got it bad. I got Bobby Blotzer and Ricky Rocket under me banging on the drums all morning. and somebody said, well, you should stomp on the floor to throw off his timing. And Bobby Blotzer responded by saying, it's too late. So that was the story I was telling. Anyway, guys, I want to make sure we welcome Ron Thal, Bumblefoot, here today.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. Nice to see you.
Yes. And for those of you who want to get to know more about Bumblefoot, I do have a full interview with him, 90-minute interview where he talks about his career, and it's fascinating, the people he's worked with, and we probably barely scratched the surface on that. Today we're talking more about hot sauce, and after we try the hot sauce, if some of you guys, if you're up for it, Ron, maybe you'll take a few questions.
Oh yeah, happy to, definitely.
Cool. So each week we've been doing this series of Rockstar's hot sauces, and there's a lot of them out there. And so the first week we had Eddie Ojeda on, and someone says you have a better name than Slash, and some people are saying that you're awesome, and there's a lot of well, someone wants to know the name Bumblefoot. I'm going to answer it for him real quick. Your wife is a veterinarian, right? You saw it online. Bumblefoot is a chicken disease.
Well, I was helping her study, years and years ago when we were just dating, and it was one of the diseases that she was learning about. And I just thought it was such a stupid name that I wrote a song called called Bumblefoot. And eventually that ended up on a compilation CD in the early 90s of all different guitar music. And when I had my first record deal on Shrapnel Records, we put out the album and called it The Adventures of Bumblefoot, and every song was named after a different animal disease. And then after that, I needed to start really touring a lot more. And so I called the band Bumblefoot, and it fit. The music was real wacky. It was very kind of Primus, System of a Down, Mr. Bungle, Zappa type stuff. So it was a fitting name. But then after years of putting out Bumblefoot albums where I'm singing, I'm writing everything, I'm playing guitar, I'm fronting it, it became like a nickname.
Yeah. Well, I'm putting up a few people's comments and questions and fans of your music. They want
thank you so much, Mr. Addict.
I don't recommend Googling Bumblefoot. You can make sure you put Ron Thal or guitar, because if you see what Bumblefoot looks like, it's rough.
It's pretty ugly, and the disease is bad too.
Yes, they'll be here all week. Try the hot sauce. So, So anyway, we've been doing this series, and we had Eddie Ojeda, who's a friend of mine. I had him on, and we enjoyed it. We enjoyed his hot sauce. He has a medium and a hot. One is a cherry habanero. One was a peach base, and they were good. Last week we had the Alice Cooper hot sauce,
nice.
And I'm going to tell you. Have you had it?
Oh, I haven't, but the people who make it are the same ones that I started with, so we're kind of in the same family.
We were disappointed.
Oh no.
Not that it's bad, and I think there's someone who might really enjoy it, but it didn't. The hot sauces that have the fruit to them, the sweet and the heat, and I know yours do, and we'll talk about it, I think is a more enjoyable experience. Just getting hot sauce because it's hot or smoky, I think there's so many of those out there. This, to me, felt like Alice might have slapped his name on a label. And he had 3 hot sauces. None were all that enjoyable for me. They weren't bad.
Let's see. We're going to see how mine stack up.
So, yes. And I know a lot of people are asking questions. And so we'll get to a few of them. But he wants to know if he saw you fronting Uli John Roth. And Ron did do that.
Yeah, we toured together. We got back about 8 years ago. It was me and Uli and Jennifer Batten in a van driving around Italy for a week and just having these crazy conversations about science and music and how it all correlates and all this crazy shit. And yeah, love that guy. Great guy. And we did a couple of things together. Yeah.
Yeah. How insane. Okay. He'd like to know what it was like working with Scott Weiland. Oh, he's. I asked this. He's saying that Scott Weiland was a famous singer. The question is, and I did ask Ron this question in the interview. He said, "Who was harder to work with, Scott or Axl?"
Well, here's the thing with Scott Weiland, we didn't really work together that much. It was, the band Art of Anarchy, it wasn't even a band. It was just something where we were having different singers that were going to sing on different songs. And then the people in Scott's camp said, hey, let's make this a full band and Scott will do the entire album. And Scott would, over the course of a month, he just kept sending me tracks and finished songs that he was writing up a storm, and everything was great. And I did the mixing and mastering. And then later on, we did videos and photo shoot and all that stuff. And we had a couple of phone conversations, but beyond that, like that was it. Like it never became anything more of or what it could have become.
Yeah. And it was a weird situation, and he passed away while there was some litigation going on and things. It's all in that interview. We're going to link it, and you can learn more about that situation. It was a crazy situation, and he's not going to badmouth Axl if that's what you're looking for.
No, I wouldn't do that. And honestly, I had so many great times hanging out with Axl, and just, I mean, shit, we would hang out for like 20 hours straight sometimes, and a lot of fun, and there were plenty of good memories. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to get to these questions, but I also want to get to the hot sauce. So people are asking questions about his fretless guitars. We'll talk more about those. If you guys all just hang out, we're going to get to those questions. But right now, we are going to try some food, and then if Ron will stick around, we can talk about some other things. He has an incredible career. He's you're not one of those guys you go, well, he was in Guns N' Roses. Yes, that's very noteworthy, but your career is so much more than that. The different records and different bands you play with. And so we can talk a little bit about that too. So,
okay. A lot of stuff. Yeah. So
you did a lot of stuff. You're a busy guy, which is great. And you know what? The projects that you do are interesting. I was looking this morning when I was sharing something on Instagram. I said, I want to share a song that people will know. Some of your stuff is very Zappa type and maybe out there for the average listener. I chose one of the songs that you played when you were with Guns N' Roses. But there's so many different aspects to your playing. Some people like the shredding. There's that too. But you definitely do it all. But we're going to talk hot sauce because my friend Miguel is visiting with me from New York City. He is a renowned hot sauce aficionado. He's got hot sauce in Egypt, coast to coast. He's here and he is going to try it with me. We've got all kinds of food. And so what we're going to do is push this back here, and we're going to change this frame just a little bit. This is the...
now, speaking of hot sauce.
Yes.
Why is it... This is something I've thought about a lot, and I do have the answer, but I'm going to ask the question. Okay. Why is it that so many rock and metal musicians love hot sauce? Mm-hmm. Now, if you think about it, there is no music that is intense, that will rile people up and make people just want to, elbow each other in the face and hug after, the way rock and metal can do. It is the most intense experience you can give someone as a musician is playing that stuff. So when it comes to food, and when it comes to food, nothing can give you as intense of a reaction as spicy food can. I mean, things could be super bitter or sweet or salty or savory or anything, but nothing will make you sweat and cry and tear and vomit and be in pain for a half hour.
I can't wait to try the sauce now.
The way hot sauce does. So it's kind of the same drive. The thing that makes a lot of rock musicians want to get into spicy food is because we want to give that intense reaction, that feeling that you can only get from something super fucking hot.
Yeah. You make a great point. You don't see, Garth Brooks hot sauce or country music. It is a rock and metal thing. And I think that people, I listen, Ron, there's some people who are doing this to make a buck. I'm going to throw my name on a hot sauce. That is not you. This is a passion. I'm going to open the box. This is here from United Sauces. You can order this on Ron's website. We'll have the links to get it yourself. So while I open the box, you tell me what got you into hot sauce.
Well, first, how you doing, Miguel?
Hey, Ron, a pleasure meeting you.
Great to meet you. Where in New York City are you from? I was born in Brooklyn, lived in Staten Island half my life.
The Bronx, New York.
Very cool, yeah. My wife went to Bronx Science.
Okay, yeah, a lot of people, yep. Bronx High School of Science for all the people high IQ goals.
Obviously, you did not.
Yeah, I did not. I went to Grace Dodge High School, which is almost 80% girls because they converted. It was a vocational school, and then they converted with guys and girls. And when they started accepting guys, it was 80% girls.
Let me translate. You're saying you went to a school that was originally a female school.
Yes.
But they started busing in guys, and you got to be one of the guys who got in there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Poor you. That
Yeah.
must have been so tough for a young high school kid having to deal with all those girls.
But
This is packed very well.
So, okay, I was 12 years old, and my older cousin Steve, he was like 20 years older than me. He dared me to eat a hot pepper, and he said he'd dare me $5 to eat one. And I'm trying to save up for music gear at 12, and I was like, $5 is going to help getting a DiMarzio Super Distortion pickup. So I ate it, and I liked it, and I started just putting hot peppers on everything I ate, and people knew I liked it. So I started. There it is. We got to talk about that before you open it. Don't even open it until I need to give some warnings.
Okay, keep telling us about you made your $5. You decided that you liked.
No, he never paid me. He
you
still
got
never
stiffed?
paid me. No, never got that $5. So,
well, I paid full
that's
price,
all
Ron.
Yeah, I just started really getting into hot sauces, and people would give me as birthday gifts. Hey, here's a hot sauce, and hotter ones. And what happens is half your refrigerator is full of bottles of hot sauce, and you get so familiar with the different combinations of different types of peppers and different flavors, and it reaches that point, just like when you listen to music and you get all this music you love, and you're like, I want to start making music. I want people to feel as good as this stuff makes me feel. And I got into hot sauce. And in 2012, there it is. Yeah, those are the sauces. So yeah, it was 2012, hooked up with a company that I could partner with, and they were going to handle the manufacturing and distribution. So in between shows, when GNR was doing his first Vegas residency, I would fly out to Ohio and meet with them, get in the kitchen, and we'd be experimenting. It's like we tried with the Bumblicious. I had the idea of using blueberries, but once we cooked them down, they were too mellow. So they suggested sour cherry, and that made it pop. And so it was a great collaboration, and definitely couldn't have done it without them. A company called K. John's. Eventually, they sold the company, and I got my own manufacturer, my own distributors. I got United Sauces in the U.S., and I have in Germany and Australia and Norway and the UK, and getting more and more, and just built up everything myself to keep it going. And I'm still in touch with all the K. John's people. We just spoke a few days ago about something we're going to do next year at a big food festival. And so that's it.
Yeah, well, and that's when we met. We met when Guns N' Roses was playing here in Vegas. You came and played with Sin City Sinners, and
sure did.
Created, we built a little friendship since then, and had you on the show. And then, so talking about the hot sauce, I asked Eddie Ojeda about a lot of these companies. You get hooked on their hot sauce or their food, and then they go under, and you can't get it anymore. Joe Perry had a really good hot sauce, Boneyard Brew, and he had a peach mango or something that was very good, and then it was gone. Eddie's theory was you have to be financially invested in it to want it to last, because some of these people maybe have a licensing deal, because this is your investment. This is your company now. You are involved in this. This is not something that I let them use my name for a year. You sell this hot sauce, and that's why I think people can sort of trust that it's going to be around, and it has been around for quite some time now, as you said.
8 years now, yeah.
Yeah. So we have the 3 hot sauces,
okay.
And so you tell me which one we should start with.
I say start with the sauce. So this one, I was looking for something that goes with everything. Just a straight up red sauce that has a really good flavor, that goes with Mexican food, that goes with Chinese food, that goes with Indian food, that goes with Thai food, that goes with Korean food, that goes with Turkish, Lebanese food, everything you could think of. Even Italian food, it has Mediterranean herbs in it, something that your eggs in the morning, something you just want to keep on the table all day, that you just use for whatever meal you're having. And actually, that sauce was named by, I was on tour with Asia, Yes in Asia, and Arthur Brown, I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you fire. Well, his son was hanging out, and I remember I was working on artwork for the bottles and everything and getting it ready to roll out, and I just couldn't think of a name for that sauce. You know, it's like, it's got to be an everything sauce, an everyday sauce, an all-purpose sauce. And he said, why don't you just call it the sauce? I was like, you know, fuck it. All right. So I call it the sauce. It is mild. It is flavorful. It is just an all-purpose, all-around sauce. It's not something that I would consider like a very unique sauce, but it is a delicious sauce. It has won twice first place awards at the NAMM show of food festivals called Zest Fest that happens every year in Dallas at the convention center out there.
Yeah, I see here best mild hot sauce at the Zest Fest. Yeah,
in 2013, and then again in 2020 when I rolled it back out through my own thing and won first place again.
Now we've got Miguel's been slaving over the kitchen all day, so you can see he always prepares his food in these beautiful
take out container.
Yeah, he does that for the illusion. And so we've got some cheese sticks, we got some zucchini, we got some jalapeno poppers, we got some onion rings, we got some fries, and we have some quesadillas. And I think we should get those quesadillas out. How long did it take you to prepare these quesadillas?
45 minutes.
Perfect.
I was taking toke breaks, so.
All right, so let's give this. I think I'm going to start with a little bit on my plate here on the side. Oops, a little of a dab will do you. And I'm going to try one of these fries just to get a quick taste of it.
Wow.
Let's see here.
You can smell the sharpness of that.
But it's not overly vinegary. That's the thing with a lot of red sauces is that they just keep it simple: peppers, vinegar, salt, and that's it. I wanted something a little more complex.
It's good, and it's not too mild. Even though this is the starting sauce, it still has a nice kick. It's not a burning kick. And like you said, these Mediterranean flavors make it a little bit different.
Yeah, it just tastes more than just hot sauce. It's like a gourmet, type of stuff that you would like put in like on a T-bone steak or something. But
I think this would go good with steak for sure. It has a little bit of a steak sauce flavor too. I think not just
it's not overwhelming, but the flavors in there. It just, you can see it under the palate. It's just like a wave, and it just like.
All right, we're doing good so far.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, for a mild sauce, it has a lot of flavor.
Well, and that's the other thing. I no disrespect to anyone else's hot sauce, Alice Cooper, but he wasn't coming on anyway. I was bored. I felt like Cholula or Tabasco would have been that. This, I'm tasting it, and I want to taste more of it, and it does.
A Lollapalooza going on in here with the ingredients.
A Lollapalooza, the flavor. So anyway, and this is something that I would like to have. Again, this is also a good sized bottle. Because if you like hot sauce, obviously you go through it. This is very good. It has that smoky flavor, and it is different. If you're not looking for, this is not Frank's Red Hot. This is
and delicate at the same time. It's kind of weird. All these flavors, but you still have that. It's like a delicate,
I don't know what you're talking about, but you're the delicate. You might want to put that on the next bottle. Okay. Well, I don't want to have too much. I don't want to fill up. So tell me what we should try next.
Let's go for Bumbleicious.
Okay.
Now, Bumbleicious also twice it has won first place at Zest Fest, the big fiery food festival. And this one, I wanted something more barbecue-y. So this one has cherry, it has bourbon, it has chipotle, and a lot of people I've seen just drink it. They like it so much. It's pretty mild, but it's definitely more of a smoky barbecue-y kind of thing. A lot of people put it in stir fry, and on this one, a lot on steak.
Smell that.
Wow.
This is the one I was most excited about. When you came on the show, you told me
a French fry would be good. I'm gonna try it.
This is when you told me that it has a barbecue kind of thing to it, I was excited because I think it's different, and it's a thicker. This is a thicker sauce. For those, people can see as I'm pouring it out. This is a
thick sauce.
This is like a barbecue sauce, not like hot sauce, which, like you said, it was very vinegar based and lighter. So let's see this. How you like it?
Wow.
That's very different.
and not overwhelming.
Is it delicate?
Nope, it's very barbecuey.
Barbecuey. That's great. I'm trying to think what you compare it to.
Nothing else, which is good. It has its own original.
Yeah, that is really good. I'll tell you, Bumblefoot, we have not eaten this in the past. We'd have a few bites of this one. We want to keep going. So that's a big,
I'm glad you guys dig it. Very cool.
Yeah, definitely like on chicken too, grilled chicken with that sauce. Oh, definitely.
This is a mukbang. Did you know that, Ron? Do you know that term?
No.
A mukbang, I think it's Japanese. It's when a bunch of idiots eat food on YouTube and then people watch it.
I can't stand it. It's kind of weird. You get a lot of likes and just like this girl from Korea just eating noodles and just there and just people just eating it. You know, it's just annoying. Just seeing her like just slurping on stuff.
You spent all your time learning how to play the guitar. And these people are getting rich eating noodles. Anyway, this is really good and really fun. When you're having a meal, a hot sauce to just add heat, okay, you know, my whole life I added Tabasco or Frank's Red Hot, and it just added heat. But this is really, it adds adds flavor, you know. And I'm giving my honest, opinion of it, and it's very good. And it's also not burning. Now I have a feeling this last one, we are not going to be able to eat as much.
Don't open the bottle with your bare fingers.
You hear him? He's talking to you.
Don't open the bottles with my bare fingers.
The Bumblefucked.
Yeah.
You know the show Hot Ones?
No.
Everybody knows the show Hot Ones.
Yeah, he didn't. Miguel's not a broadcaster like me. Even if I didn't know, I would tell you I did, and he didn't know that. But Hot Ones is the most popular thing right now on YouTube.
Yeah. They did a blog, and they said this was the third hottest sauce in the world. So you don't want to get it on your fingers, not even close, because hours from now, no matter how much you wash your hands, you go to the bathroom and you start burning down there for about a half hour just because you touched your body. And
I met a girl on the road.
Somehow got into your skin.
Yeah, I met a girl on the road. Same thing happened, but it probably wasn't as flavorful. Are we on? Sorry. All right. So here, be careful.
This stuff is just pretty much, it's pure pain. There is a flavor in there if you can get past the heat level.
Okay.
So what happens is, and literally for the amount of food that you're eating, just a dot, not a drop, but I mean, take a fork and just touch the tip of one of the.
Put a little on your
So
plate.
it starts off, you're going to feel a tingle as soon as it touches your mouth. Your lips, your gums, your tongue are all going to go numb. And then timed exactly 10 seconds. And then it feels like an oven door opens in the back of your mouth. And just like, and all this heat starts in the back of your throat. And after about a minute, it hits the rest of your body. And you may find it hard to breathe normally. And that will last a good 10 minutes.
Ron, if we pass out, you have to finish the show.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I can improvise.
He tried it with was it a cheese stick?
I tried it with a zucchini stick, a little sauce, but
I'm trying it on a fry.
And it's slow. So what you feel at first, if it's hot, that's because 10 seconds later, the heat really kicks in.
Now, Ron, do you eat this on a regular basis?
Yeah. Actually, not a lot of my own. I try not to sample my own product too much, like drugs. So the thing that I usually do is I have some Carolina Reaper, just mashed up Carolina Reaper that I put on stuff.
Wow.
But I'm the weak one. My wife, she is like a cyborg. She can eat anything hot and it's like, yes, it's kind of hot. And everyone else will be puking and rolling on the floor and curled up in a ball. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like the ultimate Hot sauce.
What
I
is
like it?
What's the secret that makes it so hot?
Satan.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I
I
thought.
mean, even look at the bottle. It looks like Satan took a shit in it.
Yeah. Oh no, there's a lot going on in there. You know,
Wow.
you're not going to run out of this.
No, that bottle could easily last years.
I would like to see other people trying this. We should have had some people react.
Yeah.
I think they think that we're being funny. It is good, but I really did have a dot.
And where would you recommend this at? Like in stew, like soup, or?
Yeah, let's say you have a bowl of chili, put a
Yes.
drop into the bowl, mix
yes,
it up, and it'll just really kick it up. One thing you can do is if you find that the other sauces are too mild, take a little dot of that, add it to it, and you just went from mild to medium or more.
And are there people who just love it? Like, you say your wife loves it. Like, some people can take it.
Yeah. That sauce is the best seller out of all of them, surprisingly. Yeah.
Well, I know the people who are really into hot sauce, they want that. I've heard people tell me that mild sauces don't do as well. People who are really into hot sauce,
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
They want that. They want that kick. It is very warm in here all of a sudden.
Wow.
It's good. I mean, it's.
You have been bumblefucked.
Yes, thank you. We had a mukbang.
By a smooth criminal.
We got mukbanged and bumblefucked in the same night. I think YouTube's going to take away my monetization.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, they're fun. They're all fun. Like the you can tell that that you put on your chef hat and it started what ingredients work and what's dust, and you can tell it's a lot of soul and like
it's. I know what I like to eat. I know what I like to taste. I don't consider myself a chef in any way at all. I'm someone that just likes to eat and just have ideas of what I think would taste good.
Yeah, yes.
It has a fun, like you said it's a 10-minute process. It does change as it goes. That I don't feel like
my sinuses are clear.
Yeah, my sinuses are pretty good too. So if I had to say, which I think you have to try it. I think if you're in for the Bumblefoot experience with hot sauce, you have to try this. And like he said, a dab will do you less than a dab.
Is a flavor in there. I mean, it has tropical fruit. It has ginger. It also, I put in ginseng and caffeine just for a little bit extra. Yeah. The other sauces have all natural ingredients. This one has dug up plutonium and rat tails and all kinds of shit in it.
Kryptonite.
Yeah, well, so my favorite, no surprise, it's the one that I expected, is the Bumblicious.
The Bumblicious.
My favorite, the sauce.
The sauce. Yeah.
And then, of course, second,
it's not that the Bumblefuck is bad. It's
for pain junkies. It's for people that really like that pain and have that tolerance and want that rush and that high. It's good for that. Yeah, well,
it really wakes up your palate, though. It just wakes up your insides. Like,
wait till tomorrow.
Right? No, I'm sure. Yeah, something also.
You said it's going to wake up your asshole.
A tiny bit, but I'm used to. I have Mexican roommates, so I'm used to.
You can't say that. Racist.
But they're Mexican.
They're going to cancel you. You're saying the Mexicans like. No. You better take this out of here so I can get them people.
All right,
you're going to get us.
I really appreciate you guys trying the sauces.
Offer you Bumblefoot you were here, but thank you, brother. Keep on rocking.
Call him Mr. Bumblefoot. Man's a legend. No class. You're like school on Saturday. No class. All right. Anyway, we thank Miguel for coming by. He does love hot sauce, and I can tell you that we will be eating more of that hot sauce because it is good, and it's like you said, it goes with everything. It's not. Yes, the hot one is really hot, and it is for the enthusiast who wants to try that. But those sauces go with everything. So.
Cool.
I give you my highest recommendation, and now Now, you guys, Ron was nice enough to join us, and this is not like a product placement or anything. I was doing this, and I asked him if he would come by, and you were nice enough to do that, and we turned some people on to something different, so they can.
Good, yeah.
Yeah. So let's see here. Let's look at some of the. Some people want to give their friends the Bumblefuck to see them cry, and that it is a fun gag gift. Why not?
They will cry.
Yeah. I think it's I think there's a bit of a novelty, obviously, to the sauce, although it's good.
Oh, Valeria.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, she has tried it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Valeria's familiar. It is something that you have to say you did. If you're into hot sauce, you have to say you've been bumblefucked. There's a T-shirt that you can wear that says you've been bumblefucked as well. Okay, if you guys want to ask any questions to Bumblefoot about the hot sauce, about his career, about guitar playing, now's your chance. So, well, I know before everyone had 10 million questions. Now they're all busy ordering hot sauce, to be honest, because they want to experience what we experience. I can say, I can ask first to get the ball rolling. Tell me what you're working on right now. What's because you always have something going on. What's current?
I am slowly working on a guitar instrumental album because I haven't done one in over 25 years. So working on that very slowly. I want to try and get some good guests on it. So that is slowly happening. I just came back from 2 weeks out in Ireland, and there's a band that I'm producing, and we went to a studio in Ireland and recorded out there. And now I am just mixing, mastering, and all of that. Great band. They're called the Dodies, Dodies. Two-man band.
I listened to a little bit. It was very enjoyable. When you were on last, we talked about it.
Wait till you hear this next album. The songs are so good, such interesting, unexpected turns that the melodies take, and so much dynamics, and no drum replacement, all real shit, no click, no auto tuning, none of that. The two of them in a room just looking at each other and playing like it's a gig and just capturing all the real shit. And the drummer, he plays a whole kit, but he does it with just one arm while playing with his left hand keyboard bass and singing backing vocals, and he kicks ass. And the singer has this real Kurt Cobainish kind of tortured vibe, plays guitar and sings, and it's just the two dudes, and they sound huge.
Okay.
Really
I'm going to get to these questions that are coming up, but one of the things I wanted to point out, Ron, I think people who think, oh, this guy's Bumblefoot, and he has a fretless guitar, and he has this, would think you might be pretentious. You know what I mean? An outsider might think this guy's a shredder, but that's not really the case. Your knowledge of music is vast. You grew up on Kiss and things like that. It's not you and you also your knowledge of punk rock music and some of your instrumental stuff. You combine all these elements. So I think that I know you get labeled as a guitar shredder, but and the band of Dodies that you're talking about, these are different things. I always say there's no wrong way to make music. I think some people think we have to do this. You prove that's not correct. You do what works.
Music is just waves in the air, and what you're doing is you're collaborating with people and you're working with different people. I mean, shit, like over 20 years ago, I was producing tons of hip hop out in Staten Island. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many different things. I worked with DMC, worked with Scarface, so much stuff. And I did, so much interesting stuff to look back on. One time I was hired to produce a compilation album of drag queens. And it was called God Shave the Queen. And it was these 10 very interesting characters that came in. Each one had a very different personality and a different style of music. And we either co-wrote together or they had a song and put it together. And each one was a different style. One of them, a dude named Jeff, and comes in with this other guy with this little like Casio piano thing, and set up and just plug in the piano direct and give him a microphone, and they do this opera version of White Rabbit where he sounded like this woman singing opera that had the greatest female operatic voice I've ever fucking heard. Coming out of this dude named Jeff. And it was mind blowing. I was like, holy shit. So I just took what they did. They just came in, did that, left. And then I just built an orchestra around it. And just, I love that shit. I love when you're not just in this one lane of music and there's things you never would have expected you'd be doing, and just all these opportunities to do things that are beyond you. And that's the good thing about working with all these different people, is that they're bringing something so beyond who you are and what you have to offer. And by doing that, it becomes part of you. And now there's a new layer to what you do. And after a while, like, you've just experienced so many things musically, and you have so much to draw from as well when you make your own music. So
Yeah,
it's been a lot of interesting stuff, from, you know, Brazilian traditional music to, I mean, it's so much stuff. I can't even remember it all. And music for TV shows, shitloads of that. Every day something. I mean, just McDonald's in Finland just used, someone mentioned the Hands album. They used one of the songs. They used one of my guitar solos from one of the songs on that album just a few months ago. All kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love that.
And it shows your love for music. Okay, so I'm going to take some of these questions from the audience. Sometimes the audience asks ridiculous questions. I believe this is not true, but let's see what he says. The question is, Ron, any truth to the rumor that Axl fired you for gifting him a wristwatch?
Who's making up this shit?
Have you even heard that before?
No, that's a new one.
If you want to reveal your source, because I've never heard that as well. But if he wanted, if he
Jason knows enough people on the inside, he would have known.
If he wanted a super chat $5 to ask you that, he deserved an answer, and you gave it to him. He's never heard that story before.
It's a good one.
Yes. Okay. Here's a little bit more straightforward. Who influenced you the most as an artist?
Oh wow. Well, it really started with the Beatles, and most often I say my favorite Beatle was George Martin, and their producer, because he's the one that took these 4 entities that came together just once in the entire universe, never again, and was able to elevate their songs from just something acoustic to adding all the crazy studio shit and the orchestration and everything that just turned the songs into the masterpieces that they had the potential to be. And that was the biggest influence on me, was that. I mean, I love the Beatles, love them. But it was really the way they took these amazing songs that were performed so beautifully and took them even to the very next level in the studio with the production. So there was that. Then Kiss, hearing Kiss Alive at the age of 5. And that made me want to get on stage and do everything a band does. And by the age of 6, I had a band and I was doing shows. I've been playing shows for 45 fucking years. And that big one. But just growing up in the 70s and having all this new music coming out from Queen and Bowie and all this amazing shit. It was all an influence. And as music progressed, as much as I hated disco at the time because I felt like it was an attack on rock, you know, so I would go to school at 10 years old, you know, disco sucks on the wall. Next day, come back, it's crossed out. Rock sucks, disco #1. I'm like, oh, it's fucking on. And yeah, that thing. But now I listen to it, it's like, God, that shit was amazing.
I feel the same. For me, it was punk rock. If you were a fan of punk, you couldn't listen to Donna Summer and these things. Now I listen to it and I love it. You know?
Yeah, absolutely, totally. And it was all great. That's the thing. Everything that was coming out then, no matter what kind of music it was just kicking ass. It was just so genuine. It was really pulling out the best of what people had to offer, and it wasn't about style, it was about substance, and that was the style. It wasn't like, I should say, it wasn't formulaic. Like, you could look at classic rock and it's not one type of sound, it's so many different ones. you have everything from Fleetwood Mac to AC/DC.
Yeah. I'm having the lights adjusted just so if you wonder what I'm doing, because I look like a fucking vampire sitting here. You've been eating the Bumblefoot hot sauce. You got a nice complexion. I'm sitting here. I had George Lynch on a couple weeks ago. He's like, you look like Marilyn fucking Manson, So
Oh, shit.
I haven't figured out my lights.
George.
Yeah, he was great, but
Yeah, it was just his birthday too. Was it
That's right.
yesterday?
Yeah, and his son-in-law, is Richie Faulkner from Judas Priest, who had emergency heart surgery. They say he's doing okay. I don't know that much about it.
I hope so.
But yeah. So, okay, I'm going to get to some other people's questions, but I know that one that's an obvious one. People want to know, you're always going to be associated with Guns N' Roses. You are not the type of person who dwells on the drama. That's a smart way to be. Why do that? You had a great time with that band, But what I think people want to know, Hard School and Absurd. These are the songs that they've put out as new singles.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to put out an EP of music, which are all Chinese Democracy leftovers. Were you involved in those songs?
I remember, this is a long time ago. This is like 15 years ago in the studio in between legs of touring. I know I played a bunch of the songs I played on. I don't remember which ones or what's coming out, but I'm sure all those parts are long deleted. I would assume that they're gone, and Slash is on them, as he should be.
Mm-hmm. The song Hard School, it's there's been a version of it that's been around for a while, and I believe it was for a movie. I could be wrong, or I think it played in a movie. And then it's out, Slash did his thing to it and changed it around. And as you said, that's great. And it's great that there's that music. A lot of people say it sounds a lot like an older song, and it's because it is an older song. I think Axl's vocals are probably those vocals from the original recording, and then maybe Duff put his parts in. But like you said, there were so many songs back then. Even the stuff that's going to come out, you might not remember, a lot of it, because there was a lot going around at the same time. Yeah. You're leaving it at that?
Well, yeah, that's... Yeah.
So, did you listen to the songs?
I did, yeah.
Did you like them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm happy to see them putting out music.
Yeah, you're not...
I know the fans are happy, too.
Yeah, the question here is, do you remember the songs that you were part of that made the Chinese Democracy album? And it's the majority of them.
I think all of them.
Yeah.
I think.
And you can hear some of the songs like Shackler's Revenge and some of those songs, you can really hear.
There's some where, definitely played a bigger role. Scraped, I think Riyadh, Shackler's, what was that other one? Catcher in the Rye.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
Yeah, a lot of I think all the solos in those. But I'm pretty sure I laid tracks on all of them.
Yeah.
I'm saying pretty sure. When it was closer, I said, yes, I played on all of them. But now, years later, it's like my brain is slowly going, so I'm doubting myself. And I don't want to say I played on all of them, but I think I did.
Yeah, and you've done a lot since then. And those songs have survived. And, it's a funny thing. I think when Chinese Democracy came out, I think people wanted Appetite and Use Your Illusions, the next one, and it was different for them. But as time has gone on, Axl hasn't given up on those songs. I saw Guns N' Roses at the Forum a few years back. I think he played the entire Chinese Democracy record, or pretty close to it, maybe 80%. And he would just keep calling those songs. For people who don't know, Axl has a microphone on stage that the band can hear in their monitors. And he was calling them out. He wanted to try to play 4 hours at the Forum, and he just kept calling these Chinese Democracy songs out. And
4 hours. Wow. The longest show that we ever did was 3 hours and 37 minutes in, I think it was the one in Tokyo, and we played 13 of the 14 Chinese Democracy songs. Yeah.
Did you ever get to pee? How did you get a break?
I don't think I had a break. I would just sweat it all out on stage.
No hot sauce. No, not before a show. Okay. Let me read. I try to read some of the questions before I put them out in case people say something ridiculous. This one doesn't look too ridiculous. He likes my shirt, but he's asking if you've ever gone for periods where you put the guitar down and maybe you pick up another instrument outlet for writing art, etc., for a period of time.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's times where you need a break, or you just don't feel inspired, and yeah, take time off. There's been times where for weeks I never touch a guitar. It'll be 2 feet away from me, and I just don't feel like playing it, and I don't. And then when I go to pick it up again, when I feel like it, you kind of feel refreshed. Yeah, it's not a bad thing to take a break when you feel like you need one.
Yeah, this is a similar question. How many instruments do you play, and do you record yourself?
I do record myself. Yes, I have a studio. It's an old house in Princeton, New Jersey. I got about 20 years ago, and just go there to make noise. And I've recorded tons of albums there and all my own stuff there. And I always say I play every single instrument there is. I just suck at all of them, except,
I find that hard to
time into, but
yeah.
I'm a horrible drummer. I'm a horrible keyboard player. I'm a horrible cellist. Not as horrible on bass. And
when you say horrible, I'm horrible if I play those things. If you play them, might not be the best, but I bet you're still pretty good.
I could do Jamie's Crying on drums. That's about it.
That could come in handy.
Yeah,
memories.
The worst thing is violin.
That's your worst?
Make a decent sound out of a violin. I've tried, and it's just agonizing. It's just fucking awful.
Do you have memories of touring with Lita Ford?
Oh, sure, yeah, tons. So Guns was rehearsing in 2009, and we were auditioning people and did that for the first half of the year, and then we were off for the summer. And I remember I suddenly got a call from Lita Ford. She was at Sweden Rock. She was still on stage. And she called me from the stage, they just finished playing. She's like, "What are you doing for the summer? You busy?" I was like, "Actually, I'm off." I was like, "What's going on?" She's like, "I want to make some changes in the band." And it's like, "All right, well, when's your next show?" It's like, "In 3 days." It's like, okay. So went down to her house and brought my drummer from my solo band, and we got PJ Farley on bass. And
from Trickster,
and learned 15 songs and hit the road for the summer and played a bunch of festivals. Yeah, there were some funny memories and some good stuff, definitely.
Has Lita Ford been bumblefucked?
No, that was before the hot sauce. That was 2009.
Oh, you said 9. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what else we have here. I see a lot of people asking who you'd like to work with. That one's coming up a lot.
Oh, anyone who's not a narcissistic fucking nut job.
So basically, you're going to stay solo for a while.
No, seriously, it's at this point, I just want to have people in my life that are kind and have a good heart and just aren't into drama and bullshit and whatever kind of music that is. I love playing with the guys in Asia. They're just sweet as can be and just really.
And Ron sings in Asia as well. For those who don't know, yeah. And that, are you doing that right now?
Well, hopefully next year we can do something. Right now there is everything's on hold.
Yeah.
So, but we've spoken this year, and so hopefully next year we'll get out and do some more stuff, and just pay tribute to the wonderful John Wetton, and do the best we can.
Yeah, absolutely. And so all of those stories about how Ron ended up in Asia and what it's like, that is also in my first interview. A lot of people are asking about the technical things. In that interview, Ron also shows the guitar. Someone was asking how you came up with the idea to use a thimble. We do talk about it. We talk about fretless guitars. So rather than repeat a lot of the things that you can watch in there, and because as you know, Ron, you don't do anything half-ass. You know what I mean? The hot sauce, you were serious about. Your records, you're serious about. And so he doesn't just tell you, well, I picked up a thimble. There is a reason for it. So let's see. Here's a question about drinking. Howdy, Ron. You talked a bit about food. So I'm wondering, what are you drinking, alcoholic or otherwise?
I don't drink a lot of alcohol, but when I do, it's usually some kind of whiskey. Not much of a beer drinker. Sometimes wine, depending on the scenario. But one thing I've kind of gotten into is mead. You know about mead?
No.
It's made from honey. And it's pretty damn good.
So it's a
strong
drink
as fuck.
it's a drink made from honey?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it an alcoholic beverage?
Very much so.
Okay. Does it go
I haven't gotten shit-faced in a long time. Probably 10 years since I've been like flat on my ass drunk. And even then, that was just as a painkiller more than anything. But for now, like if trying to think of when do I drink? Champagne on New Year's, just me and the missus. Watch a Twilight Zone marathon and drink champagne and eat sushi.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's it. If I'm gonna drink, it's gonna be some kind of whiskey. And lately, mead. Found some interesting mead.
Yeah, we'll have to look that
Yeah,
up.
check the shit out. It's pretty good.
There's asking you to tell us about awesome gem Jules Doodle's guitar made for your birthday.
Oh yeah, the Doties, when we came back from Ireland, the head of the record label sent me this just beautiful like guitar jewel encrusted thing as a thank you. Yeah, it's nice. Wait, I think I have it downstairs. Let me run down into that.
Yeah, we're getting a tour of the crib too. We're seeing the Bumblefoot estate. It's a palatial estate.
This is my room, which is now full of CDs, and where is it? This room is just full of gifts from fans.
Wow.
Different things, artwork, and all kinds of stuff.
How beautiful.
And I should really make the room nicer, but I got a couple of guitars, but let's see. So this thing.
Oh, how cool.
I think we could really see it. I should bring it into the light or turn it toward the light. But it's...
Oh, yeah, there you go. Now you can really see that. And so that was a birthday gift.
Oh, it's like a thank you gift.
Thank you.
For the Doties. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool.
These were all albums I played on.
Yeah, your discography would definitely take a while. People want to know about new Sons of Apollo.
Let's see. Sons, we don't have any new music, which pains me terribly that throughout this whole pandemic, we didn't do the third album. But we do have some shows coming up early next year. And I'm hoping that could ignite some kind of spark or something. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah.
Okay, here's an interesting question that Valeria has. Can we trade your favorite stevia for hot sauces when you come to Chile with Sons of Apollo next year?
Stevia for hot sauce. So you want me to bring hot sauces and you give me a bunch of stevia?
Do you like stevia, Ron?
I do. Yeah, if I'm going to use a sweetener, that's usually what I'm going to use.
I'm a diabetic. I'm a diabetic myself, so I like stevia. I thought she was trying to say that we put the stevia in the hot sauce, but I think she's going to trade you is what she's getting at.
So I'm going to get Chilean stevia in exchange for a hot sauce.
She gets bumblefucked and you get the hot sauce. I mean, you get the stevia.
All right.
I think
we could do that.
Larry, I think you might have a deal. Let's hope he gets to Chile first. That's what we need. We need to get some.
I just treat everything like it's all 50-50.
Yeah, a lot of people loving Sons of Apollo. Great project. Here's a question that you probably get all the time, but he can probably answer very easily. 5 favorite guitar players.
I could give you. It would be easier for me to name 50 of them than just 5 of them.
I mean, Ron, I'm really interested in this. Most of the times, like if you ask George Lynch and guys like that, you're going to get Jimi Hendrix and Jimmy Page or who. I'm really curious what you're going to say because I don't think you're going to have the same 5.
First, Angus Young.
Mm-hmm. See,
he was probably my biggest inspiration up to the age of 12, and then I heard Eddie Van Halen, and so definitely those 2. Hendrix, Brian May. I'm trying to think. Maybe Jimmy Page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, those are big influences. I'm thinking Ace is in there with honorable mention somewhere.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that really
not
did
Ace. Yeah.
I love when I have guys on who are real technical players and they say like, oh man, Ace Frehley. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
A sloppy Ace.
That's really the first name I should have mentioned. Shit.
Yeah. A sloppy Ace is still cooler than most people. Ace can play 1 or 2 notes and play cooler than people who play.
He can just bend 1 note and it's him. Just that slow, just kind of trippy, the wide, slow vibrato that he had. It's him just from 1 note.
Yeah. Absolutely. As someone asked him about Jeff Beck, was Jeff Beck an influence on you?
Yeah, not a huge, not like I listened to him religiously, but definitely certain things in his approach, just the way he plucked and the sound he got from his right hand that it gave to the notes was a big one. And also just the, like, I don't know if eclectic is the right word, but like the experimental-ish, weird, expressive kind of ways he would twist a note.
Yeah.
But I do love, like, was it Space Boogie?
You're giving us the Bobby McFerrin version. So we'll have a last couple last chance. People want to ask their questions. You can get those in. I'm going to share the link to our first interview so that a lot of people who are asking stuff that didn't get answered, I promise you he answered it. He was very generous with his time. And so I want to make sure that I share this. So
I appreciate everybody's questions too. Thank you.
Yeah. Right. Thank you for everyone who's hanging in there. And like I said, this is the link right here. This is not a commercial for his hot sauce either. Like I said, I know it seems like we're selling it, but it was really something fun to do, turn people onto some new products that were rock and roll related. And that's what we did. And then in the meantime, people are still at home. Things are still strange and not everyone's getting to go out. So to turn people onto some new products and to have some cool people stop by like yourself is a great thing. I'll tell you, Ron, the hot sauce gives you a little bit of a high. Yeah. I think any good food can do that to you, but you get a little bit of. Now Miguel was high as fuck when he was here. When he called your hot sauce delicate, I knew he was high. And that I was getting a contact high from sitting next to him. But the sauce does give you a nice feeling. What you said about the Bumblefoot hot sauce, it takes a minute, and you get different feelings. But it is very good. And I'll be honest with you, the reason I'm telling people to get their questions is I want to wrap it up so that I can go have the rest of the dinner with some of the hot sauce. So
nice. Yeah.
So I definitely enjoyed it. And so anyway, we'll get the last call on questions. And again, anything that you missed is in that interview. And we'll also put Ron's most current projects in it. First of all, tell us the best place to go and get some hot sauce and also get some music.
All right. Well, to get the hot sauce, the U.S. distributor, just go to the short link, bit.ly/BF, like Bumblefoot sauce. So bit.ly sauce, BF sauce.
BF sauce, yeah.
BF sauce.
Yeah, and we'll have the link to make it easier. And not
for music,
yeah,
I guess you could do same bit.ly BBF merch.
Gotcha. If not, bumblefoot.com, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if you for those and yeah, and a lot of people really loving it. And they're thanking you for stopping by. We have a fun thing here. We do this every Wednesday, and there's this community of people who love to talk about rock and roll. And the last few weeks, we're talking about hot sauce. Coming in October,
Yeah, you got a good bunch here.
Yeah, they're a great bunch of people, and we weed out the assholes. I'm very good at that. You know,
I appreciate you letting me on despite that.
Yes. You slipped through the cracks. Couldn't be a nicer guy. And there are a lot of people saying what a down to earth regular guy you are, and that he is. I will point out that when they were, so I created and managed this band called Sin City Sinners here in Vegas. We met Ron. We were playing the Hard Rock Cafe.
Yeah, that was a fucking blast, man. That was cool.
The guys in Sin City Sinners are those musicians who can play anything, anytime, and that is like Ron. Well, next thing you know, we're having a Kiss and Judas Priest party that's at the Hard Rock Cafe. Don't look for it; it's not there anymore. Going for all hours, and Ron was nice enough to wear a Sin City Sinners shirt on stage with Guns N' Roses. That's a huge endorsement for a little, local thing. And you came out and jammed with us so much time, and for charity events and other things that we were doing. And so, so I can't thank you enough.
No, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And let's see what we got here. Yeah, looking forward to more. That's a good question. I like this one. Does the weight of the double neck bother your back or shoulder?
Yes.
Simple answer is
yes. It definitely, after a while, you feel it. I think it's mostly about the strap. If you have too thin a strap, it's just going to dig in. So having a wider padded strap, which I don't have, that is definitely helpful. I do find that when I'm playing, I like to just kind of put my leg up on a monitor and rest the guitar on it, and it takes a little weight off.
Yeah.
But yeah, that thing is heavy. That's why I'm always playing sitting down for my solo shows.
Yes, I can imagine. Our mod has the link to the hot sauce in the chat, so people want it right now. They can go get it. They can get it, and you can get. Nowadays you can get things fast. Priority. It'll be here, and you'll be at home having hot sauce too. Let's get one or two more. Do you often compose in your mind things which have nothing to do with guitar, then translate?
Yeah. A lot of the songs, well, musically, most of the time I'm writing and there's no guitar anywhere. I'm just driving and I just start thinking of music ideas and things, and grab out my phone real quick, like song idea number 4,372. Like a month later, I listen to it and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This makes no sense. There's a lot of songs where I think them up and the melody is just too pretty. It's like, someone's going to beat me up if I sang this. So I just turned it into a guitar instrumental and played on guitar instead of singing it. But yeah, I've written a lot of things that had nothing to do with the guitar, whether it's just something for piano or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I don't know if I answered your question.
I think he did. He was satisfied. So,
Cool.
And so that's all that matters. Anyway, I want to thank you again. Check out Bumblefoot on social media. That's the best place to find out what he's up to. You're always up to something. You're staying busy, and today was about hot sauce. Again, watch the interview. We talk about music. We talk more about guns. The Scott Weiland story is on there. The Scott Stapp story is on there, which is just as ridiculous as the Scott Weiland story. You've had some odd career because Scott Stapp is the one who replaced Scott Weiland when he passed away, and then that didn't work out either. Art of Anarchy, that's done?
No, it's just you gotta sort the mess and then move forward.
I'm trying to think of somebody who's really difficult to recommend for you. Can't think it off the top of my head, but if anyone has an idea of a singer who's known for being difficult, not Axl, that's obvious. Don't make that joke.
You know what? I have definitely worked with some amazing, interesting people.
What about Johnny Rotten for Art of Anarchy?
I would do it in a fucking second. Hell yeah.
You're not scared. I mean, you're not intimidated by these characters. Your life has been surrounded by fascinating people. What about a Bumblefoot book?
You know, I was asked to write books in the past, and if I wrote one, I wouldn't want it to be about music, and certainly not about other people.
Right.
If somebody wants a book on dirt and tour stories that involve other people, it's not going to happen from me. But I don't know what the hell I would write about then.
Yeah. Well, I can see what you're saying. I should point out that is one of your things, not to, when we did the first interview, one of the points was that Ron didn't want to dwell on dirt and controversy. First of all, it's all out there. People have heard stories. There's no reason for him to readdress something 1,000 times. So I can completely listen. A cookbook now, that's a good suggestion, a cookbook.
I've been in a couple of cookbooks. There was one called Mosh Potatoes, and another one called For Those About to Cook, I think it was, where I had recipes in there for stuff. But really, my wife is the mastermind behind it all. I'm just a test subject for these things. Yeah, and the thing is, I feel bad that in the past there have been times where I was not at my best and I said more than I should. Just because I was, sometimes you're just so frustrated and the valve releases and shit comes out that you regret later. Anytime you talk shit, you're going to regret it later. It's not good for anybody. And it's just not good for anybody's soul. There's yours or anybody reading it. So I keep away from that shit.
Yeah, you're not looking to be the blabbermouth headline. That's not your thing. Your music speaks for itself, and I think that's a great way to be. And certainly, maybe more people should be that way. I can think of some people I worked with that maybe shouldn't talk so much.
Well, you know what? No, my opinion is not that fucking important. And I'm not so fucking self-important that I feel like I need to share my opinion like it actually matters so much that it needs to be said. I keep my shit to myself.
What a refreshing attitude.
Well, for real. And the truth is that's for everybody. Nobody's opinion is so damn important that it needs to be said if it's going to hurt other people and just cause harm. It's not why, just because you selfishly want a little bit of attention or whatever the fuck it is. Makes you feel important because you have a mouthpiece, so you abuse it. No, that's not how it should be, and that's not how we should be.
Yeah, I've learned that from doing the show. People will go into the comments and say, "I've never sent a negative comment on anybody's things. Whatever their art is or what they do is fine. I might not like it, but I'm certainly not going to go out of my way to say something negative." And I got to the point where I started calling these people out because they're bullies. And realize, like, if you don't like the way I interview someone, then you have to produce your interview. If you don't like Bumblefoot's guitar playing, well, you have to share yours. If you don't like the way someone looks, share a picture and then call them what you want to insult them. They probably won't do it.
It's lobster. Okay. I hate the smell of lobster. I don't like lobster. I can't eat it because I can't get past the smell of it. People fucking love lobster. Just because I don't like lobster doesn't mean that lobster sucks. It means that lobster is intended for people that enjoy lobster, and it's not intended for me. I like a good steak. A vegan is going to look at me and want to stick a fork in my eye. That's, but vegan food is for vegans. Meat is for carnivores. And it's the same with music. It's the same with everything. If you don't like it, it just means that it's not meant for you. It's meant for the people who do like it.
Absolutely. Although I will say with vegan food, if you're a meat eater, you could enjoy vegan food. To me,
I love vegan food.
Yeah, it's like having Chinese or Italian. Some days I feel like vegan. So I think that it's but everyone has their own thing. So Twisted Folk was pointing out
shitloads of vegan food, especially Carl Palmer is vegan. So
right.
So with Asia, there's always like vegan stuff. I'm like, great shit.
And your Mediterranean hot sauce would go great with vegan food. There's no question. There's tons of great Mediterranean dishes. So Twisted Folk was pointing out he ordered all 3 sauces. He had a great time tonight, and A lot of people saying great things. I did see one heavy question that we got to get into. If I can find it, hold on. I was peeking through and I said that finally we have a question that needs to be answered. Here it is. Floop-de-doo wants to know Betty or Veronica. It's a tough one.
Both.
I think that's the diplomatic way to say it. If I was going to bumblefuck one and I had to pick one and just one, I'm going with Veronica. She's the dark hair one, right? Miguel, is Veronica the dark hair one?
Both.
Let's see. I'm not sure.
How the hell do we none of us remember this? Somebody please comment. This is very important. We've got to solve this.
It's like the Ginger or Marianne thing.
Yes. Well, in that case, when I was a kid, I said Ginger because she was the movie star. Now, as a much wiser adult, Marianne. Yeah. Well, anyway, listen. You guys wanted to know.
Down to earth. Just.
Let's see. Every now and then I get really stupid questions. I skim those.
I got plenty of stupid answers.
Veronica is the raven-haired one. That's the one I think I would. Thank you, Jay, Cincinnati Collector. He's a comic book person, so he is the expert. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that one. And Ron is not going to. He's not going to be controversial. He's not going to let Blabbermouth run a story that he only likes one cartoon female. He says there's room for both.
Both. I'm more of an and person than an or person.
An and person. Oh, that's a great attitude. Yeah, I'm going to try to. I'm going to try to practice that. Anyway, we've taken up enough of your time. You're on the East Coast. It's 4 a.m. And
it is 10:41 p.m.
Do you go to bed early?
I do.
Nothing wrong with that.
I like it. I'm old now. I love going to bed early and waking up early at the ass crack of dawn and have a little
feel like
cup of pumpkin spice coffee and get to the studio early and just working dinner by 6 p.m. and getting ready for bed by 9:30 and these old bones and yeah.
Somebody's joking about Sammy Hagar or David Lee Roth. Everyone knows it's David Lee Roth. I don't have to even ask Ron. No, right, Ron, you want to take a shot at that, Hagar or Roth? Oh, of course. And he's not wrong. You can't be wrong, but it's completely different things. It's like having different hot sauces or different tastes. They're different. They're both good. But yeah, Dave all day for me. But but you can have both.
When it comes to Van Halen, I could say, definitely I got to say David Lee Roth, that era. There was just a certain fire to it all. But at the same time, I love Sammy's voice. I love his writing. I love him in Chickenfoot. Love his solo shit. And he's just a sweet fucking guy. Yeah.
There's your headline. No controversy here. I want to thank everybody who tuned in, wasted a little time with us. I don't feel like it was a waste of time. I feel like we had a great time. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm not joking. We're going to go eat some more food right now with this hot sauces. You guys can order. Yeah, thank you so much. And you guys can order as well. And Ron, when the world opens again and you have a new project, I hope you'll come back and we can talk about it.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. And I hope we see you too. That'd be nice. We'll get the world
going.
Remember
that? The whole same room?
Yeah. But hopefully again. So thank you everyone for watching. Join us for our interviews every Monday, Friday right here on YouTube. There's 100 on the channel. Go check them out now. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.